big news, unexpected news, but very exciting nonetheless. In mid-September, Tokyo Disney very quietly, very casually announced that they're going to be finally opening their new Fantasyland, and there's a date, a real, honest-to-goodness specific date, on September 28th. This literally just came out of nowhere. There was like no headlining into it. There was no slow, gradual advancement. Not a single peep, not any clue or any advance notice that they were even going to open it up at all this year. But no, here we are. Tokyo Disney decides to just make a post about it very casually on their blog. Yes, they do have a Tokyo Disney Resort blog in Japanese on their website. And that's where they announced that in 10 days from the post, they were going to be opening the new Fantasyland. Nobody was ready for that. I wasn't ready for that. The internet wasn't ready for that. But anyway, if you want to hear more about my thoughts and my impressions on that, I will leave it to the end of the video because we have a lot of stuff to bang out through. The focus of this video is of course going to be on the new merchandise that will be released of the opening of the new area, and it is so exciting because we have had previews of it, and we're talking about like way back in the beginning of the year before all the craziness settled in. So people have been gearing up for this for months, and because there's just so much stuff to go through, like there's literally 4 different attractions worth of merchandise, let alone the general area merchandise. So because we have to go through so much, we're just going to quickly bang it out, and hopefully I can do all that wrapped up in one neat video. Otherwise, this is probably going to be split into multiple videos, at most I want to say 2 or 3, so please bear with me. So let's begin with the area merch, which is merchandise that pertains to all 4 attractions. So you will find symbols or landmarks or representations of all 4 attractions on this merchandise, and then we will go into merchandise that focus specifically on a particular attraction. As is the case for merchandise videos here on my channel, first you will see the entire range of merchandise available for each lineup, and that will include their retail price as well, and then I'll pick out a handful of merchandise and share with you some insight of some things that I think you should be aware of in order to fully experience and appreciate all that Tokyo Disney goods. And just a very short and quick disclaimer before we begin, I do not offer pickup services, nor will I be promoting or sponsoring any of those things as well, because I do purchase directly myself. I purchase locally, and the sellers or the people who are in contact with me they're just shipping domestically. They don't do international, so I sincerely hope you understand that this video is intended purely for informational purposes only. And with that out of the way, let's begin with the general area merchandise. So there's actually 2 very distinct themes happening for the general merch, one being like the light theme and the other being the dark theme. And we'll go through the lighter of the themes first, and this is the more colorful of the 2. First of all, let me just start off by saying how attractive it looks at first glance. I love the soft colors. It's not exactly pastel, but the colors that represent each attraction I think is well chosen, it's well thought out, and it looks really good together. And the first item I'd like to point out is this greeting card, and the very fact that I'm pointing it out should be a hint that this is no average greeting card. It's a very 3D card in that there are 4 different folds of the card, and when you open it up, it features a specific attraction, and it is very reminiscent of the pop-up book style. And this is just the first item, so you can see how exciting this is. So anyway, we have all attractions being featured here, each one on each fold. So you can see Beauty and the Beast, Baymax, Minnie Style Studio, and the Forest Theater being represented here. And you can see this kind of design being featured across multiples of the merchandise in this lineup. So you can see that also in their cups, and these are melamine cups, am I saying that right? But these are cups that are really good for children or young children because they can take a hit when they're dropped. They also have a cup that are dedicated to each particular attraction. So if you're really into practical items and you like something that represents each particular area and it has a designated item to it, this is a really great choice. A pillow, everybody loves pillows, cushions. This one has a more line art style as opposed to like full-on color, like coloring book display. Think of like coloring book style. There's splashes of like watercolor, droplets and palettes and whatnot in the background, and they have a different design front and back. There's also towels, especially like the yellow silhouette designs of symbols that associate with each attraction. So for example, take Minnie, she has that bow and like scissors because she is a style studio, so there's that connection. And you can see a little Mochi that's connected to Baymax, and then for the Beauty and the Beast area you can see a little teacup. So there's like hidden symbols that you can kind of make out. So it's like there are hidden symbols that are associated with each attraction, and it's just great fun to be able to pick them out and figure out which ones go where. Another great thing that features all 4 attractions is this set of plastic file folders, and this particular design features a lot more concepts to them. For example, you can see the Beast representing the Beauty and the Beast area and his castle, and then you have Hiro with Baymax, and then there's a little bit more stuff for Minnie Style Studio, not to mention her house, which is always exciting. I am so obsessed with plastic file folders from Tokyo Disney because they are a really good item to capture the art concept or design of whatever event or theme is happening at the time. And best of all, they're cheap. They're super cheap, and they can last for you for a long time. They're functional. They keep papers. They keep things together. I mean, you really can't go wrong with plastic file folders. This is awesome. Takara Tomy, which is very much known for their die-cut model cars, they have partnered or collabed with Tokyo Disney for a while now, in that they've been doing designs or models of different attraction rides. When you think of model car companies, they're like the model car company, especially in Japan, and especially if you're a hobbyist for that kind of thing. And so of course they're going to be released model vehicles of the brand new attractions. And so first up we have is the one from the Beauty and the Beast area, the Enchanted Tales of BATB, and the vehicle is shaped in the fashion of Chip, or a teacup that resembles Chip's pattern, and has a very similar movement to that of the Ratatouille attraction in Disneyland Paris. It is a trackless ride. The cup moves, it sways with the attraction, and so that swaying movement is also depicted in the model vehicle, which is awesome. As is the case with Takara Tomy, not only do you get quality, you also get aesthetic design. And naturally, you also have a model vehicle for the Baymax ride, or the Happy Ride with Baymax. And this is the actual vehicle that goes in front of you. So you have like the guest vehicle, and then you have the Baymax vehicle, and he carts you along the track. And what's great about this is not only do you get a vehicle, you get a figure. You get a Baymax figure, which is very rare for Takara Tomy to do, in the sense that their model cars usually don't come with figures, and not to mention as fully sized as the Baymax one here. Fun fact, Baymax was not released as Big Hero 6 in Japan. The movie is titled as Baymax, not Big Hero 6. If you go around Tokyo Disney or talk to the locals and ask about Big Hero 6, they will have no clue what you're talking about. So if you're planning to talk about Big Hero 6 with the locals, say Baymax instead. This is probably one of my favorite items of the entire lineup. The fact that they released figurines like this. You normally wouldn't expect this kind of thing being released at Tokyo Disney, in the sense that usually these figures are found in gacha-gachas or capsule toy machines. And the fact that you can get them and buy them from Tokyo Disney for a commemoration of the new attraction is kind of funny, in my opinion. So anyway, these are not just your regular figurines. What you are meant to do with them is to hang off edges of your cup or your mug, so that you can carry around a little friend whenever you have your morning coffee or where you have your afternoon tea. Of course, there are plastic model figurines, so they're washable. I just don't think I would put them in a dishwasher. Definitely not a microwave, because they're still plastic after all. So I think my favorite would have to be Baymax, because he's literally in his car. His car is like tipping over the lid of your mug. That's just like a really funny image. And then there's Belle doing her Belle thing, and of course she's reading a book. Oh, the staple of Tokyo Disney snacks. I cannot say enough good things about Chocolate Crunch. If you've never had a Chocolate Crunch and you can only take one snack home with you, let this be the one. You will not be disappointed. I don't know anyone who doesn't like chocolate crunch. I mean, it's chocolate and it has waffle bits in it. You can't go wrong with those two combinations. This is a giant tin with 60 pieces. Normally you have regular tins which carry around like 25 or 30 pieces, so this is double that amount. You get 15 pieces of each flavor going from left to right. You have milk chocolate, white chocolate, lemon tea. Wow, that is super interesting. And finally, strawberry. The thing I'm probably most excited about is lemon tea. I've had chocolate so many times. Milk chocolate is the standard flavor of the chocolate crunch. You can get it anytime, anywhere, but lemon tea, you can't. So this seems to be a very limited time or event exclusive kind of flavor. If you're really adventurous in trying new things, this is a great snack to take home. I mean, you have two staple flavors of the chocolate crunch, the milk chocolate and the white chocolate, and then you have two not so staple or not so regular flavors, especially in the lemon tea one. And in the strawberry one, you can find every now and then, especially during the springtime events. There's another kind of chocolate snack that you can get if you're not so into the chocolate crunch, because the chocolate crunch pieces are quite big. They're like around that size. It's still chocolate, but it is of a smaller size. I would say like half or a third of the size of a chocolate crunch. They are more cubic as well, and they are lighter to carry in 28 pieces, not 60 like the chocolate crunch. There are two different flavors. There are 14 pieces of each, milk chocolate and white chocolate. And now let's head into the dark side, or the darker theme of the general area merch. And I personally love their design, and this is featuring the logo of the new area. And what we have here in the design is that the O and the D and the A has been transformed to incorporate a particular character that is of course representing each new area. So you can see in the O's you have the mice. You have Mickey and Minnie. Mickey is of course representing the new Forest Theater. Minnie is for her style studio. Baymax is peeking out of the D, and I love that they transformed the A into the Beast's Castle, and you have little silhouette designs of Belle and Beast right next to that castle. Two shirts are available for purchase that depict this logo in two different styles. This one just has the logo spread right across the entire front, and it's across a black background, so it makes the words and the colors pop, which is quite nice. And on the back side, in a smaller scale, near the top of the collar, you can see 2020, and I really like that they turned the zeros of the year into hidden Mickeys and one hidden Minnie. Here's the second shirt, and it has the same logo except it's not in color anymore. There's a monochromatic theme going on here. It's just pure black and white, and it's not as like in your face as the black shirt we saw earlier. It's a lot more minimalistic as well. I mean, take for example Mickey and Minnie. They have been transformed to look just like the Mickey heads or Minnie heads, and you don't see Baymax very clearly anymore. He's just kind of represented by like two eyes kind of thing. So it's not as loud as the black shirt, but it's still very stylish nonetheless. It's more subtle, and this one is geared towards women or towards girls, but honestly it's a unisex shirt, so anyone can wear it. I personally think this style would look quite cute in an oversized shirt style. So I think that would make a really cute like house dress kind or housewear kind of thing. And since we're on the topic of shirts, I might as well show you the boxers that they're planning to release as well. Much more colorful, much more loud and vibrant compared to the shirts, because you have a collage of the logo just splattered all over the place. If you're planning to get the shirts, I think this would be a great combo to go with it. I mean, why not complete the set? You have a very simple top but a very loud bottom. I think it's a nice complement. So that's the apparel, and we're going into like other forms of merchandise that feature this logo. First up, we have the pass case, and it's a kind of weird shape. Honestly, I'm not such a big fan of this shape. There's a holographic sheen to it as well. It's like a pearlescent sort of effect. I am myself not a big fan of that either. I prefer fabric as opposed to that plastic design, but to each his own. I still think it's a great item and very colorful, especially the lanyard. It has the 4 colors that represent each particular area. So green is for the Force Theater, red is for Minnie Style Studio, blue is Baymax, yellow is of course Beauty and the Beast. And then you have this very fuchsia-ish neon purple kind of square at the back. That is where you would put your commuter pass or your ID card or student card, whatever you have it. And when you open up the inside, the pattern inside is also that of the logo. And I like that there are 2 pockets inside. There's a smaller pocket and then a wider pocket for like other cards and stuff, and you can put coins in the smaller pocket. It's a very colorful, functional pass case holder. Oh, stationery! Excuse me, I just recently got into bullet journaling, so I get super excited when I see like Disney and stationery put together. There's quite a bit of stationery being released for the new area, and I'm pleasantly surprised. But anyway, first up what we have here are masking tapes, and there's just like masking tapes of the logo. I don't know what else much to say about it, but here's a preview of what they look like. There's a pair in a set. There's 2. There's the light theme and a dark theme, and what I love about it is the fact that you can lie the packaging, put it side by side, you can spell out the entire logo from the top down. You can see it say Tokyo Disneyland 2020. And then we have this memo, I can't say memo because that's Japanese English, sticky note pack thing. So it's just literally a pack of sticky notes. There's so much of it. If you can see that it spans the entire logo size or width of it. So it seems like there's a number of sticky notes that will last you for a good while, for the rest of the year even. You can make it stand, you can make it lie on its side, however you want it. And you can see a preview of the design of the sticky note itself. It's a square and it has like gray silhouette-ish designs of the different areas that are in the new Fantasyland. Another clear file folder. You have the logo that is splashed out diagonally, very similar to the black t-shirt, and then at the back side it has the same design that we saw in the boxers earlier, just all over the place. So if you really like the art design of the logo, this is a great piece to get. I was a little confused when I first saw this. It's like, is this a pass holder? No, it's not, because usually the pass holders are on lanyards or on long straps. This one is not a pass holder strap or lanyard. It's just a lanyard, and the end of it's like a stuffed toy of the caps that you can buy at Tokyo Disney or Disney parks. They have the Mickey ears on the side and the logo right on the front. I'm pretty sure you can take off the little stuffy of the Disney cap and you can attach that to another keychain or your bag, but you'll kind of have to figure out how to get it off. But I'm pretty sure you can do that. I was kind of surprised to see that they released a backpack. The front has a very simple logo design, but the inside, when you open up the bag, the pattern of the fabric inside is that very busy, very collage-like style of the logo. So again, and if you enjoy the logo and if you want something that's very functional, this is another good item, I think. And again, we have another face towel or long towel. You don't have to use it for your face, even though it's advertised that way. Long towels seem to be advertised as face towels in Japan, but of course you can use it to just drape around your neck and whatnot. What I really like about it, besides the fact that it's very colorful, is the container that the towel comes in. I mean, look at that. The top lid has a Mickey sphere on it, and it's not like your flat design, it's like a 3D-esque design. There's a real 3D-ness to it. Oh my gosh, I hope you can understand. I've been living in this country for so long now. Sometimes I fear that my English proficiency has dropped. Alright, so we've gone through the area merch, and now we're going to get into the specifics of particular attractions. First up, Beauty and the Beast, because that is my thing, and so I want to get into it because I'm just so excited. I'm bursting at the seams, and I just wanted to just be able to share that joy and that happiness with you as soon as possible. There's quite a bit of beauty products in this lineup. I was a little taken back by the number, or beauty related items. There's a very feminine touch or atmosphere happening here, and naturally this is revolving around the romance of the Beauty and the Beast, or the femininity that is Belle. So this hand cream is rose scented, and that's about all you should know. The packaging is also very cute. You normally don't see Belle being paired up with this color, especially this pink color. It's normally paired for Aurora or Sleeping Beauty. And then we have a lip gloss. I wouldn't associate that color with Belle either. I don't know. I feel like Belle is some more like brown hues or beige hues, golden hues of makeup palette going on. I personally would never associate this hot pinkness with Belle. But again, we are focusing on the beauty that is the enchanted rose or roses in general. So here we are with this pink. So you probably need something to put your rose scented hand cream and your lip gloss in. So why not get this Beauty and the Beast makeup pouch. And what's very interesting about this is the front has that clothy fabric design. It's very textured. The back doesn't have that texture. It's a very canvas-like texture, and then it just has the Beast's castle in gold print and then roses surrounding it. It's a very nice pouch. It's pretty straightforward. The inside is a nice royal purple. I love this mug and I love this canister. The designs are great. Front and back designs, totally different. You have Belle and the Beast in that ever famous ballroom scene, and they are just in the middle of dancing together. I love how that is captured. And at the back side, you have all the key supporting characters in Mrs. Potts, Chip, the dog, the Ottoman. That's quite a surprise. You normally don't see him depicted in Beauty and the Beast merch, especially in the Tale as Old as Time kind of scene. And Babette is also there, so that is cool too. Of course, Lumiere and Cogsworth. I love the little lid of the canister. It is glass canister, just like the mug, and I just love how elegant it is. There's a very glamorous sort of feel to this design. It's just does remind me of like things you would find in your like grandparents' house, in your grandmother's china cabinet. Am I the only person who thinks that way? It's just like jewelry making set. So this is a compartment, and this comes with 5 compartments. Then each compartment has like beads or a pendant that has Belle or Beast, and basically it's a set so you can make your own jewelry. You can make a necklace or you can make a bracelet. I think it's a really nice option for kids to have. You can also get very creative with this. There's also a string of pearls around the top, so this toy, this arts and crafts thing, has portability function, and it can act like a little toy purse as well. These keychains, wow, talk about stylish. One of the most common items that you can find at Tokyo Disney are these paired keychain straps. One would be usually of a guy character and the other would be of a girl. And here you have Belle and Beast, so you have the guy and you have the girl. These are geared towards couples, so the guy would be holding on to the guy character and the girl would be having the girl character, or vice versa if you plan to do it that way, because that's totally fine. And sometimes the key straps would be like halves of something, so you can make a whole when you put it together. This is not the case. I don't think that's 2 halves to make a whole, but the designs are absolutely beautiful. I like that they went very simplistic on the colors. It's a lot more elegant in that way, and it's also nice that it's very subtle about it. It's not like in your face Disney. You kind of have to take a moment, pause, and check it out and realize, oh, it's like Belle, and that's Beast. It's a Disney keychain. These are 2 goodies in one. First, we have the rose, the enchanted rose, and it's in a display case, and it's right on top of a tin container that has Belle on the front. And what's inside the Belle tin container is this rose tea. So it's tea leaves with rose petals in it. And I don't think the rose is supposed to light up. I think it's just an accessory. 2 deals for the price of 1. You get a nice accessory stand of the enchanted rose, and you get a drink to go with it. And once you finish the drink, you can still continue using the tin container for whatever purpose that you deem it to be. What I want to point out about this pass case is not only to appreciate the elegance of its designs, but the fact that it has multiple pocket sleeves, which is something you don't normally see in pass cases like this. So there are many sleeves that you can dedicate So there are many sleeves that you could designate a single card to, and it can carry a multiple of cards. And I also like that there's a metal piece of a rose that is attached to the keychain. If you really like the art style of the Beauty and the Beast area, I think this is a really good item. This is also very functional because it does carry a lot of your cards. When I first saw this, I was like, okay, it's really nothing special. It's very pretty. It has a nice texture. You can see like there's a textured design of roses in the background, and then you have a very dark silhouette of Belle in the corner. And I do like that embroidery of Truly an Enchanted Rose. That's not so bad. But then I look at the packaging, and that's what's extraordinary about it. Okay, because the packaging has the towel, the hand towel, folded in a fashion to make it look like a rose, the body of the rose, and it's just so beautiful. I've said it before so many times, I'll say it again, and I'm not afraid to say it. Tokyo Disney has one of the best packaging designs of any Disney park, and they're still keeping up that standard. This is a set of notepads. We have 5 characters featured for each notepad. We have Belle, Beast, Mrs. Potts, Lumiere, and Cogsworth, and each notepad has a very unique design associated to their character. This is so cool. I like that they carried on the theme of books. If you have been following my channel and you have seen the Beauty and the Beast cafe merch, if you haven't, I will put a link to that in my video description. That there was a heavy concept design related to the idea of books because it was largely based on the scene of Belle and Beast's library scene. And I really like that they carried that book theme in this particular merchandise lineup as well, because books are Belle's thing. And it's also one of the things that kickstarted Belle and Beast's relationship. It was one of the moments that they shared where the relationship was getting deeper. So anyway, these are erasers. This is a set of erasers. It's a set of 4. Each one has a different character on it. The erasers are shaped like a book, and the book covers are what holds the erasers, the book erasers. It's such a cool design, such a clever concept. And the back side of each eraser design or each book cover design, you have the same design of Belle and Beast, silhouette design of them dancing in that ballroom scene. It's a great thing to give out to friends. It's not too big, not too small. They can easily carry it with them, and they can easily put it to good use as well. Can we talk about how awesome this tumbler is? I don't believe the rose lights. First off, I don't think the rose lights up. It's just an accessory inside the tumbler. I want to say I've seen this at other Disney parks, but I can't be too sure. I can't recall at the moment. It has that rose in the inside so that when you fill up your drink, you can still see the rose. So it's a very neat concept. This was awesome. When I first stumbled across this, it was like, maybe I need it to go along with my ornament right here. It has the same depiction of Beast, when he's getting ready for the ball, he's getting all prepped and he's taking a bath. This is meant to be used as a soap holder, not a liquid soap, but a bar soap. And of course you can put on any bar soap, but why not put on the official Tokyo Disney Resort Beast soap, which is a charcoal gray, almost black kind of soap. I think that's a very interesting color choice. So pair that with the Beast soap holder and there you go. You have your new bathroom accessory. Can you imagine this? I never would have. This is a travel set that features Gaston. I never would have put those two together. But here we have a plastic zipper bag and toothpaste, toothbrush, and a collapsible cup, which is pretty awesome if you think about it. It's a collapsible cup that has Gaston's face at the base. Everything about this is just tickled me pink. It's such a clever thing to just release. Oh my gosh, I just can't say anything more about it. I think the pictures speak for itself. I was honestly taken back when I first came across this because they released a similar figure earlier this year. The Japan Disney stores did, and I myself purchased that, and I did an unboxing, and I'll leave a link to that in the video description as well if you want to check it out, because I absolutely was just blown away by the quality, the details, everything about it. It was amazing. And so I was really surprised to see her come back again at Tokyo Disney almost in a very similar fashion. The biggest difference I would say is the color scheme. She is a lot more green in this one compared to the Disney Store version. I'd say I prefer the Disney Store version way more because the colors in this one seem to be a bit off. They're a lot more green and the yellow is very, very yellow, and I don't think that these colors are quite right. I don't think they are true to the colors that are depicted in the movie. So it's kind of unfortunate that this was the color palette chosen, and unfortunately the Disney Store one has been sold out for months, and I don't think you can get it anymore in stores. So if you missed out on that, this is your next best option. It is quite pricey at like 6,000 yen, about $60. I personally don't think it's worth $60 because what you get at the Disney Store was just so good. And oh, this is an accessory case. It's meant to hold little things inside, like jewelry, beads, arts and crafts. Unfortunately, there were no pictures that show her rear or her backside, so it's something you'll have to see in person, or maybe when more pictures of it surface. This is kind of weird when I first saw this. It's a bracelet with a stuffed toy on top. That's all there is to it. The bracelet is one of those snap bracelets. Remember when back in the 90s or late 80s? I really don't remember the era. But yeah, those things hurt. And those did not have really good memories for me. They were just like 2-3 seconds of fun and then ow, that was it kind of thing. So this one doesn't seem to be as painful because the bracelet is covered with fabric, so there's that. And of course you have the very adorable chip resting right on top of it. This rose lights up. This is a toy rose. It comes with a keychain. You can attach it to your bag, or you can attach it to your purse or whatever have you. Even one of those new Beauty and the Beast stuffed toys that you happen to purchase. Finally, Babette is being depicted the way she is meant to be. She is a feather duster. Why did it take so long for Disney to finally release her as a feather duster? It's about time. That's all I have to say. Good on you, Tokyo Disney. Good on you. So while you're probably aware that there are Mickey ears of Belle's dress, by the way, if you're into Mickey ears, Tokyo Disney is the place to buy Mickey ears because they are so much cheaper than any Disney park. They are just 1,800 yen on average. That's like $18. You can't go wrong with that value. And it's Tokyo Disney quality, so you know it's going to be good. And if you're wondering why I myself don't own any or don't have or wear Mickey ears, it's because I suffer from tension headaches, especially in my temples. It's a real thing. You can look it up. So what they are is if you wear headbands or if you wear things that wrap around your head, you get a headache from it because it's pressing against like blood vessels that are near your temples. And I have gotten those since I was a kid. I never did well with headbands, so I just can't do Mickey ears, unfortunately. This is probably your next best alternative to Mickey ears if you can't wear it. This is a very loose headband that you can wear around your head, and it's not directly at your temples, so I don't think it will give you tension headaches. It's just a very simple rose wraparound headband, and honestly, there's nothing really that screams Disney or Beauty and the Beast, but I thought it was really cute, so I thought I would like to point that out to you if you're not into the Mickey ears thing. I love this. There's so many good things about this because he's not just a regular figurine. He's not just like, bam, a figurine. Look at the way he's posing like this. Gaston is meant to be holding something. And those are glasses or sunglasses. So you can have your very own Gaston figurine holding your glasses for you. Alright, so we've just gone through all of the available merchandise for the Beauty and the Beast area. We're gonna head into the merchandise for the Baymax attraction. There are two main things available for the Baymax attraction, and for both themes or both art designs, I just couldn't really wrap my head around it because one of them does not focus on Baymax and the other one was like not really related to the happiness ride. You'll see what I mean when we go through it. So the first one is of not really Baymax, but Mochi. You know, Japan is the country of kawaii, so I kind of get it, but there's just so much focus on Mochi. Anyway, so this lineup has the themes of not only Mochi, but he's the featured character and he's paired with the Japanese art styles. I think you'll have a better idea once we go through the merch, so first, here's the lineup. Let's check out this Mochi cushion because this is not all there is to it. So the front design is that of his face. For me, this is not the face that comes to mind when I think of Mochi. But anyway, the back side has the Japanese characters in katakana of Tokyo Disney Resort. And then you have Mochi's paw prints at the bottom right corner. And then at the bottom left corner in that square that looks like a depiction of a subway line, that is actually the katakana spelling or stylization of his name, and it means Mochi. You read it from top to down. The first character on the top is Mo, and the bottom character is Chi, and that spells out his name, Mochi. And then, that's not it. On the side design of the cushion, you can see Baymax playing with Mochi, and there's also the stylized characters of his name plastered around the background as well. There's quite a lot of things going on in this cushion, and you need to take the time to appreciate it in its entirety. So now you know. Now you can fully appreciate it. This is not just a toy. No. Maybe you've seen a video of the kitty cat piggy bank. This is very similar to that. You see on the bottom right corner there is a white panel, and that is the button. And when you push that button, the toy or the piggy bank reacts. So this is a electronic piggy bank. So when you place a coin on that white panel and you push down on it, what happens is the top flap opens up to reveal Baymax peeking out at you, and not only Baymax, Mochi. And Mochi is the one that will take your coin inside the box. So this is a great tool to teach children the value of saving money. It makes it fun, it makes it interesting and exciting. And if you're a Baymax or Mochi fan, this is a huge plus. And the Japanese characters that are on the front of the box, in the white, on top of Baymax, it says Baymax in Japanese katakana. And at the bottom, it reads the characters for Tokyo Disney Resort. This lantern is quite interesting because not only does it light up, and it also lights from top down. So when you're carrying the lantern, it shines a light not only surrounding the area, but also the bottom area, as in it shines a light straight down, and it shines a light of Baymax's face. And the character on the top spells out Baymax in Japanese. That's the katakana form. And at the bottom, you have little symbols that resemble Japanese elements or artistic elements. Pretty cool lantern design. Oh, and also this lantern design is very common in summer festivals when you see the huge what are those things called? Those really, really big floats that people carry around in parades. There are lanterns hanging off of them. They're very reminiscent of Chinese lanterns, paper lanterns. So this has also a very Japanese summer feel to it. This is so cool. This is also very tied to the Japanese summer festival. A lot of the float carriers wear this style of shirt or kimono top. I don't remember the Japanese word at the moment. On the black lapel running top down, on the right side it says Baymax, and on the left side it says Tokyo Disney Resort. And there is a badge that has a landmark of Mount Prometheus, which represents Disney Sea, and the Disneyland Castle, right? And that is representing Disneyland. So you have a representation of both parks chosen by their landmarks, their key landmarks in that badge. And then you have a face of Baymax on the left, and you have a bunch of random symbols of Japanese elements that have elements that are related to the movie or Baymax on the bottom. Again, the fact that I'm pointing this out means that this is not just your regular stuffed toy. This is a cushion, a small cushion, a mini cushion, and this is meant for you to rest your wrist on or your hand on, and it can act as one of those rest pads that you use while you're using a computer mouse, or you can just rest your hand on to take a break. Oh, by the way, the characters that are depicted in the bottom right corner of the cushion spell out Tokyo Disney Resort, and they have the characters from Mochi right on top of it, and of course some Mochi paw prints. I have to say that there's so much more creativity and innovation related to the items in the merchandise lineup for the Baymax area than there is for Beauty and the Beast. It must be pretty great to be a Baymax fan right now. I just want to share how cool the designs of this set of plates look. This is probably the best way to exemplify what I mean by Japanese artistic elements. It has a very Japanese atmosphere to it, especially because you can find these kinds of patterns on kimonos or Japanese traditional wear. It's just a very nice model example of that kind of thing. This is the second theme of the Baymax merchandise. It has a technology slash science feel to it. And this is what I mean when I was like a little confused at first, because the ride is all about, but it looks more sciencey than technology to me. And I think if they went with the technology route, that would make a lot more sense. But a lot of the merchandise is more or less dedicated to like chemistry. So I was definitely not sure about it at first, but the concepts and the way that they implemented this is pretty cool. There's not as much merchandise being featured in this particular lineup, but let's take a look anyway. Like I mentioned before, chemistry feels, so of course we have a beaker. This is a mug actually, and it's just stylized to look like a beaker. And of course they would release a flask to go with the beaker, but this is not to be used to pour or to hold your drink or beverage. This is actually advertised as a flower vase. But I don't think you'd be in the wrong if you were to use it as a drink. I mean, vases hold water, so why not use it to hold water and drink out of it anyway? This is pretty awesome. This is a set of sticky notes or just notes. So I don't think they're sticky. I'm not too sure about that. And what I like about it is that each design has Baymax's face on it and like depicted in different shapes and colors. And what's also pretty neat about this is there are 16 unique designs, front and back. It's a really fun notepad set. And it doesn't scream Disney or Baymax or Big Hero 6. It just looks like there's a line with 2 dots on it. Only true Disney fans would know what it really is. What is this? Oh, it's a bottle of body lotion fashioned to look like one of those chemistry tubes. It could just come off as any regular bottle of body lotion. Oh, you should know that this has a citrusy scent. That's about it. And now let's head into Minnie Style Studio. There's honestly not a lot here, so this will go quite quickly. The one thing I want to point out with this tote bag is that with it comes this makeup pouch, or this pouch with compartments inside, 3 compartments to be exact. And this comes inside the bag, so you get like 2 for the price of 1. This one is an autograph book, I want to say, because I mean, Minnie Style Studio is a meet and greet for Minnie, and Minnie will be like showing off her fashion sense. So this is obviously a very stylish autograph book to go with the very stylish Minnie Mouse. And I think the last thing I want to point out in terms of the Minnie Style Studio lineup is this Figaro stuffed toy. I'm kind of surprised that they released one for Minnie Style Studio, because you just wouldn't really associate Figaro with Minnie in general, right? But Japan does love kawaii, and Figaro is kawaii. Alright, believe it or not, that's not all. There's going to be a part 2 to this series, because we have yet to go through the souvenirs related to the new attractions. Yes, we are not done. There is a lot more stuff coming, and I don't believe that all of the merchandise have been revealed yet, because there's going to be a lot more stuff coming out, probably with the release of the new Forest Theater merch. And there's just probably going to be rolling waves upon rolling waves of new merchandise now until who knows when. I mean, this can't come in a more timely manner. We all need a little bit more magic in our lives, and Disney merch, especially Tokyo Disney merch, certainly does bring that to the table. We've looked at the general area merch, Beauty and the Beast, Baymax, and Minnie Style Studio, but there is yet to be revealed the merchandise for the Forest Theater. We don't know when that's going to happen, maybe around opening date. It has yet to be uploaded on the Tokyo Disney Resort website. By the way, all this information and all these pictures that you have seen in this video were taken from the Tokyo Disney Resort website. website. And if you're interested in looking through the merch again, I will leave a link to that in the bottom. Just note that all the things that you'll be seeing are in Japanese, so you'll be navigating it in Japanese. None of this information has been released on other languages of the website. Tokyo Disney is first and foremost a park for the locals. So just to shed a little bit of light on what I think about the whole opening, or the grand opening of the new Fantasyland, the fact that we are still in the middle of a pandemic, Japan is not so serious compared to other countries. The country's not in lockdown anymore, it's not in quarantine. That's not to say it might not happen again, but it's very much a last resort sort of thing. The period of quarantine during the summer really crippled the Japanese economy, especially in terms of tourism. Summer is basically the boom for the tourist industry as in Japan as it is for many countries around the world, and especially given the fact that the Tokyo Olympics was supposed to be happening this year, and then the opening for this new Fantasyland was originally scheduled for April this year. So there was just a lot of big events that were expected to happen this year to have a significant boost in the tourism industry, but that really fell short. I personally think for the opening to be happening at the end of this month is a little premature. They're not going to be getting a lot of foreign visitors yet. It's also not happening during a time where people can take off a long holiday or there's a long break, because schools have just started back up again. So honestly, I think it's just very strange for Tokyo Disney to be opening this area in this time, especially given the fact that the country is still in the middle of a pandemic and very much practicing cautionary measures. Tokyo Disney is especially insisting on like social distancing, the wearing of masks among staff and guests alike. There's restricted access and shortened hours of operations for many attractions and shops around the parks, so you don't really get the sense of being able to have the full Disney experience. And that's why I think it falls short to open up the new area at this time. It feels very much like a controlled opening, a soft opening. My husband and I did plan to head on over there this month, but those plans were pre-pandemic, and the pandemic is still happening. We're still in the middle of it. We're still practicing social distancing in our everyday life. People are still wearing masks, so it's not like the pandemic is completely over. Cases are still happening. They're still on the rise, and I don't know when this is going to be settling down, so we have decided to not go for the time being this year. The next year is a possibility depending on how the situation has changed, on whether or not the numbers have gone down, especially whether or not there will be a vaccine out anytime soon. To risk going to Tokyo Disney Resort, especially when it's so close to one of the prefectures that has one of the highest cases of coronaviruses in our country right now, is not, I don't think, a very wise decision when we have to think about the kind of people that we come across on a daily basis and the number of people we come across on a daily basis. We're just not at a place or time to risk getting sick, and so we're saving our trip until further notice. But nonetheless, I hope you enjoyed learning all about the merchandise. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you'll support me by liking and subscribing. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me. If you have any questions and would like to share your thoughts, please leave them in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. I hope you have a great day. Please take care, and I'll see you in the next video.